does make me a little bit more nervous about, the potential for spread.
Staggered schedules, online learning, or just back to class. We talked to local doctors with kids of their own about what they hope to see this fall.
Time for change. After decades of pushback, the Washington Redskins finally dropped their nickname. At the same time, a local high school is deciding the future of its mascot.
It's Money Monday. Should you take your money out of your 401k? Should you contribute more or less if your employer stopped matching? Advice from the experts.
Hollywood shocker. John Travolta shares the news that his wife, Kelly Preston, has lost her battle with breast cancer. We'll hear from A-listers who shared the screen with the late actress.
And diversity in dining. Doug Tratner takes us on a taste tour of Cleveland's best Caribbean-inspired restaurants. What's new starts now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Hello again, everyone, and thank you so much for choosing What's New. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. The weather was spectacular. Alongside my partner, Betsy Kling, I'm Jay Crawford. It is great to be with you again.
It's great to have you back.
It was a great week of vacation. Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it.
Excellent.
Great week.
Well, we're going to jump right into the news today because we do have some of these numbers to talk about. 1,261 new coronavirus cases in the state of Ohio in the past day. This makes the sixth straight day with new case numbers over 1,000. Now, keep in mind, the average number of new daily cases has been climbing steadily. Just 3 weeks ago, the average new cases were in the 400s per day. Well, right now, it's go time for school districts and parents to make decisions about this fall. And there are a lot of different factors to consider. Some districts are asking parents to choose from several different options of in-school and online classes, meaning it's up to us to decide what is safest and smartest for our kids. Our Romney Smith joins us now. And Romney, you spoke with a doctor today who is also a parent. I am incredibly interested to hear what she has to say about this.
Yeah, Betsy, I wish I could play the whole 20-minute clip. It was very fascinating, the things that she's considering, but she's concerned, just like every other parent, and weighing options for what will work best for her own family. So in addition to thinking about back-to-school plans and the level of cases being diagnosed locally and statewide, Dr. Amy Edwards, a mother and a University Hospital's infectious disease physician, says we need to keep in mind that while kids get COVID-19 at a lower rate, that does not mean that schools are 100% safe.
A child, an asymptomatic 5-year-old, is not going to spread the virus as easily as an asymptomatic 25-year-old, because that 25-year-old is going to shed more virus than the 5-year-old. But that doesn't mean the 5-year-old can't spread it. It just means they can't spread it as efficiently. And that is very different from other respiratory viruses.
She also says, quite frankly, right now, it's too early to make a decision on whether to physically put kids back in school, because as we've seen over the last few weeks, the trend for COVID-19 cases can make a very sharp turn, both downwards or upwards, as we've seen at any moment. And that's something that parents and schools are monitoring the closer we get to the fall. The other thing, she says, you have to watch out for teachers. I'll explain why about that at 6 o'clock.
Very interesting. And a lot of parents right now, they're being asked by the schools to kind of, quote, reserve a spot for their child in school. So, if it's too early to make that decision, what do you do? It's kind of back and forth.
We're all on pause.
We are. All right. Thanks, Romney. We're looking forward to hearing your next report on that. Well, education, of course, is top of mind for everyone. And U.S. Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos is set to make a virtual visit to Ohio tomorrow. DeVos has been a leading voice of the opinion that kids can return safely to the classroom. The federal government is pushing that schools open, an opinion that's putting the White House at odds with many public health experts.
The key is that kids have to get back to school, and we know there are going to be hot spots, and those need to be dealt with on a case-by-case basis. But the rule should be that kids go back to school this fall.
Well, internal CDC documents obtained by the New York Times warn that fully reopening schools would create the highest risk of coronavirus spread, mostly because kids could be carriers and pass the virus to others. Jay?
Parma City Schools has become part of the national conversation about the use of Native Americans as sports teams' mascots. Parma Senior High School uses the nickname Red Men. They have going all the way back to the mid-1930s. But recently that's become an issue because residents brought up the idea of changing the name at a school board meeting last month. And tonight will be the first night of community meetings on this topic. The superintendent of Parma School says the meetings are part of it. There's also a community survey, and there will be meetings with current students as well.
All options are on the table at this point. A middle-of-the-road option is absolutely one we consider. We want to get consensus. We want to hear from both sides. There are, folks that have reached out and shared that they're very passionate about the logo remaining, and there's folks that have reached out and are very passionate about changing the logo. So we're really trying to consider all perspectives.
All right, so here's the schedule. I mentioned there will be meetings tonight. You'll also have meetings on July 23rd as well as August 12th. Now, this community survey they're doing will be up until August 12th. Students will have their voices heard on the issue in early September. And this is a hot topic, not just here locally, nationally, the Redskins story, which we're going to get to in just a second, but also, Betsy, Cleveland Indians. We've heard talk that the Indians are actually looking into changing their name. It's a dicey topic. Everybody has a pretty strong opinion. Where do you fall?
Well, I'm a graduate of Copley High School, which has the Copley Indians. So this is kind of coming around and around. I don't think a mascot is necessarily the one solo representation of a school district. It's just kind of a symbol for unity, right? Indians, Redmond, whatever it's named, it's not necessarily bringing unity. So change it. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
We could stay blue and gold. We could stay blue and red.
Yeah.
We could do whatever. But you don't have to have that one iconic image, which is not very iconic.
If it is causing division, and it clearly, in the case of the Redskins, I don't think there's much question. This has caused division for decades now. If it's causing division, these are things that at least need to be looked at. I'm glad that Parma's doing this.
Yeah.
They're going to hear from students. They're going to hear from parents. And they've got the community survey up. And at the end of this, they'll be able to make an informed and educated decision on what to do going forward.
Yep.
Now, I mentioned that on a much larger scale, after decades of pressure to drop the name Redskins, Washington's NFL franchise will finally do just that. The team announcing its decision today. Let's bring in 3 News Sports anchor Nick Camino to talk about this. Nick, this was a long time coming. Now it is official. All they need now is a new nickname, a new mascot, and a new logo.
Yeah, that's the thing about this, Jay. I mean, it's been a long time coming, but the NFL franchise that now resides in Washington, they really did this in one fell swoop. They got rid of the logo, and the nickname was retired all at once. Now, on July 3rd, the team announced that they were going to undergo a thorough review of both the logo and the nickname, but now both are gone. So we knew this was coming, and it really got started up again. We knew that this would happen when sponsors got involved. The Redskins play at FedEx Field, and FedEx had really made their voice known on this. And here's the thing, though, Jay, you mentioned this. I think a lot of us were expecting to get Washington's new nickname by today with a new logo, but multiple reports are saying that the new logo, new nickname, their announcement to get revealed has been delayed due to trademark issues that are now pending. So it sounds like the colors of burgundy and gold will remain, but no details as of right now on what they'll be called or what the new logo will be. The only thing I can think of, and you and Betsy hit on this, Jay, a little bit, the only thing I can think of now is Cleveland Indians. You're on the clock.
Yeah, they are on the clock, and we know that the franchise is looking into a potential name change. It's interesting. You talked about the trademark issues that the Redskins, the Washington NFL team, is running into. Fascinating story there. So a Virginia attorney some time ago decided to start trademarking all kinds of potential new nicknames. And he's done this at a pretty expensive cost, over $20,000. Now he owns the rights to Washington Warriors. Basically, if you can think of a potential new name for the Washington NFL team, he has franchised it. So a smart move on his part. He has said that he'll likely just give it to them for free, but he holds the hammer in this deal. If he decides not to, he can give to them the name he wants them to have. Pretty fascinating stuff, Nick.
I was going to say, that's not a bad gig if you can find it, right, Jay? That's not too bad. Here's the thing on this today. Just announced, the Atlanta Braves sounds like they are not going to change their name for the foreseeable future. That's what they said. They were looking into the chop. But the Indians, as we know, a couple of Fridays ago, they said they are starting the review of the name, kind of like we saw with the Washington Redskins. And that didn't take all that long, Jay. I mean, July 3rd was not all that long ago. So maybe if the Indians are on that same type of path, you could see a name change by next season. I don't think it's realistic that we'd see it this year.
Yeah, I don't either. Interesting to point out here, the financial winner in all of this, all 32 NFL teams. Because think about it, Nick. All of the existing Redskins merchandise, it is flying off the shelves because now it's all collector's item. So they're trying to snatch these items up just as quickly as they can. And then keep in mind, when the new name and the new logo are put on merchandise, that gear is going to go flying off the shelves too. And the way the NFL shares revenue, they put it all into a big pot, divide it by 32. Every single NFL owner will benefit financially because the Redskins have decided to change their name. Nick Camino, thank you so much. Always good to see you. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good, guys.
Betsy?
All right, well, let's check in now with Russ Mitchell. He's here with a little bit more on today's other top headlines. Hi, Russ. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. A great week, Jay. Good afternoon to you.
Good to see you.
A fantastic week weather-wise last week. I sung your praises. You know, it's always dicey, but last week was
Hopefully not too loud.
Oh, it was very good. It's very good. Good afternoon to both of you. It's good to see you both again.
And you, Russ.
Good afternoon, everyone. As the number of confirmed COVID cases in Ohio trends upward, hospitals have seen an increase in the number needing beds. As of today, 949 were in Ohio hospitals. That's up about 75 from a week ago. Nearly 300 are in intensive care across the state. The Ohio Hospital Association says we're at around 70% capacity. The state can tap additional beds set up in March and April if there is a surge. A 2-year-old is dead after a shooting in Lorain late last night. Camley Patterson was one of 3 wounded in that shooting. The other 2 are at Lorain Mercy Hospital. No word on their conditions. Sorry you did not hear that, but that is State Representative Juanita Brent. She's calling on the Lorain County Fair to ban Confederate flags from the fairgrounds. She says the fair has a policy of banning objectionable items, and the flag should be banned, she says, as a racist symbol. The Wayne County Fair announced a ban on their flag at the fair last month. And that is all at 5 o'clock. Betsy, I'll continue to sing your praises, and I'll see you at 5:30.
All right, we'll see you in the next half hour. Thanks, Russ. Well, coming up, what is new with protecting your future? Danielle Serino has your Money Monday fix, and we're trying to make sure your retirement savings can weather this volatile stock market.
And later, alternative names should the Indians decide on a name change. We just spoke of that a short while ago. One in particular is gaining a whole lot of traction. We'll tell you which name that is. And Matt Wentz, how's the weather out there, my friend?
Hi, Jay. Picture perfect weather across Northeast Ohio today. We all know it's going to warm up, though, so we've got your latest numbers for you. And one of the days has a pretty good chance of some showers and thunderstorms. We'll detail when that is coming up.
Well, everybody, it's Money Monday, and with how wild the stock market has been lately, the roller coaster of retirement savings has been a big ride for a lot of people. Hang on tight, white knuckles, scream your head off, right? Well, you know our consumer investigator, Danielle Serino, is on the case.
It's actually times like this that push people to take a good look at their investments, which many people put off until they're ready to retire, and that is really too late. But the question is what to do with your money and where to move it. Right now I have with me Woody from Cleveland. And Woody, what's your question?
Well, Danielle, I have a 401k and it's losing a lot of money. I mean, just, every day. And I don't know what to do. Should I hold on to it? Should I drop it off somewhere into an IRA, or should I just ride this thing out?
Right. Well, my advice is that you should ride it out because we have seen a lot of bad times in the market and we have always rebounded. But I want you to remember this, even though your 401k may be down, right now it's down only on paper. And unless you're going to sell it at a loss, you're going to still be okay because it will rebound.
Now, what you do if you really have to do something or want to do something depends on your situation. If you are getting a regular paycheck and you're not panicked about losing your job,
stay the course, keep contributing.
Now, some companies have recently stopped matching contributions to cut down on their expenses, but that doesn't mean you should stop paying in.
Your 401k plan is still your most powerful retirement tool. And so if your cash flow allows you to continue to save in that plan because you're not concerned about losing your job, for example, and you don't need to build up that emergency fund, then keeping those contributions going pays off in the long term.
If you're nearing retirement, though, think about moving more of your money into something stable, like, let's say, a money market, because that'll give you a little bit more security than you would get with traditional stocks.
I've been doing this.
Yeah, you know what, Betsy? You're young. You're a young lady. Don't look. Don't look at it. You don't need it for a long time. Let it ride this thing out. Actually, you know the deal. You want to buy low.
Right.
And you want to sell high. Well,
theoretically,
when the market was down, and it's no longer down, but when it was down, Dow in the 18,000 range, that's when you want to flood money in because everything's cheaper. It's low. Since that time, the Dow has gained about 7,000 points. It actually had the most growth in the last 4 months that it's ever had in any time. So now it seems like the growth is back up here, but ride it out. Unless you're really close to needing it, I think you're fine. I think you're fine.
Or more importantly, talk to your financial advisor and ask them. Because
please, yes. Betsy, today...
If I don't hear it, I'm good.
Today was a microcosm, really, of the market over the last 4 months. At one point, the market was up over 500 points. And this just goes to show you how fickle things are. It was up because 2 vaccines were fast-tracked. And everybody got excited that a vaccine could be coming by late this year. So that really got everybody excited. And then, in a click, the governor of California decides that everything all indoor activity is closed, the restaurants, everything else shutting down, and the market gave back all of its gains in a matter of minutes.
Yep.
It is fickle.
Well, Matt Wintz and I often talk that the stock market is probably one of the only things that you can compare to the volatility of weather.
That is true.
It does just go back and forth. One little thing can offset something, and you change it all over the place. So I hear River there chatting with you. I assume he's giving you some stock tips right now, Matt.
Yeah, he just keeps saying sell, sell, sell. He wants his college fund early, but River, not yet. Uncle J Pop said to stay the course right now. Okay?
Hang in there.
All right. They're eating in chairs next to me.
Jay,
I know
you
they're
have
off
a
camera,
word
but
for Matt, I think.
We'll see.
I do have a word for you today, kind of like the stock market ride. Rodeo. See if you can fit that into your forecast. That's going to be tough, Matt. Rodeo.
No, I got this. I've been preparing for this moment all weekend, Jay. So I got it. Maybe a tougher word would be nice. All right, let's get to your forecast. I mean, guys, really, does it get any better than this? The refreshing air in that breeze is what really makes the course of the weekend and then today, in addition to that sunshine, of course. But temperatures, these are comfortable, especially out towards the east. We're in the low, even mid-70s out Lake Geauga, Ashtabula County. We get a little bit warmer as you hit the I-76, 71 corridor. We're generally 80 degrees or so. But the thing that you're noticing is that breeze out of the north. This is kind of turned turned off the Gulf of Mexico air. This is air out of Canada, which we like this time of year. Very refreshing, and that dew point as a result in the 50s. This is air you can barely even feel. You go out for a walk or a run here this evening, you might sweat a little bit, but nothing compared to where we were last week. A couple puffy clouds out there. Those are fair weather cumulus. We haven't seen any rain out of these, despite some of the models saying we might see some. I think a pretty similar day tomorrow. We'll see lots of sunshine, but you can see that little area of clouds up towards Lake Huron. We're going to have a pretty similar weather pattern, but the big picture looks like this on the surface map. The cold front that dragged through the area over the last couple days is now well down to the south. We've got the influence of high pressure and low pressure combined, bringing that air out of the north. But off towards the west, there's a series of cold fronts that will make its way across the upper Midwest over the next couple days. But what our concern is going to be is the heat. Texas is hot. They've been up in the 100 teens today in spots. We're not going to get that warm, but that is the core of the heat that we're going to start to tap into. So if that's any indicator of how warm we're going to get this week, we're likely going to be back into the 90s. But tonight, if you're heading out to the rodeo, no problems whatsoever. We're going to fall back into the 60s, even upper 50s in spots. Lots of rodeos around town this time of year, and you can see tomorrow afternoon more of the same. Just sunshine, a beautiful summery day, a nice breeze out of the north. I think a carbon copy of today, maybe a couple degrees warmer. I'm still thinking about rodeo. I haven't been to a rodeo locally. Let me know. Hit me up on social media if there's one to go to. The boogie meter, though, look at this. Wednesday and Thursday, that's when we head back into the really thick category. So if you're missing that summertime feel, it's back on Thursday, so enjoy these days. Your Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast. I've got to say, at 84 on Tuesday, look at the recovery in temps, though. 92 on Wednesday with some sunshine. We introduced shower and thunderstorm chances beginning Thursday, and we'll have scattered chances all throughout the weekend. So we're going to get ready. You guys ready to head to the rodeo? Do you know what a rodeo is?
No.
Okay, we'll go over it during the break. No.
Matt, by the way, I love the shirt.
River's saying rodeo.
I love the shirt. Betsy, if he decides to run for city council, he should wear that shirt in his ads, and America would vote for you, Matt Wentz.
There you go.
I would.
Oh, Jay, I'm channeling my inner dad. I appreciate it.
All right, very good. Next on What's New.
Peekaboo at me.
Oh, man. The Ohio man who went all out for election season, a blue lawn that regardless of your politics will make your jaw drop. That's quite a commitment, Bets.
Yes, I am. It is, for the moment. Here's hoping we make it through the next 40 minutes. 59.
All right, you know that sound, it means it's time to check in on what is clicking in Cleveland with our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Hi there, Stephanie. Happy Monday to you.
Hi, Betsy. Happy Monday to you. Now, as we've been talking about today, our Cleveland baseball team is thinking about changing their name. So we're taking a look this week at some of the most popular suggestions. And to start that off, we turn to our 3 News sports analyst, Ben Axelrod, with a look at the Spiders first.
The Cleveland Indians are looking for a new name that is both unique and pays homage to the city's baseball history. They'd be hard-pressed to find a better option than the Cleveland Spiders. From 1889 to 1899, the Cleveland Spiders played in the National League, posting 7 straight winning seasons and winning the 1895 Temple Cup. Their roster also included one of the best pitchers of all time in Cy Young. While Spiders are kind of gross, and the Spiders' last season in Cleveland saw them post the worst record in professional sports history, it'd be tough to argue against the marketing opportunities that such a unique name like the Spiders could provide. Tune in tomorrow as we take a look at another potential name replacement for the Cleveland Indians, the Cleveland Guardians.
Very much looking forward to what he has to say about the Guardians. Thank you for that list, Ben. Now, the FDA has its own list. These are hand sanitizers that people should avoid. There are now 59 brands that have tested positive for methanol, which can be toxic if you absorb it through your skin and also deadly if you ingest it. Now, the FDA has recommended a recall of these products, with the newest additions all made in Mexico. Here's one to take note of. Hello Kitty by Sanrio. That could be popular with kids and parents. There are 4 versions of Assured Instant Hand Sanitizer on the list, along with Eneo Natural and LumaSkin Advance. You can find the full list on our app and our website. And every year, J.R. Majewski of Port Clinton decorates his yard for Independence Day, and today he dedicated the mural to President Donald Trump. He said he did it to show his support for Trump being reelected. Over Zoom today, he told me why that is.
Some people say he tweets too much. I appreciate the tweets because I know what his frame of mind is at any given point. Yeah, overall, I believe he represents himself as pretty transparent.
Trump saw a story about his yard and he tweeted a thank you to JR. This took him 50 hours over 4 days to do the actual painting, and he says reaction has been mixed, but he wants people to know that even if you don't agree with his support of Trump, you can still be friends, and he's got a sign in his yard that says that. Now, Betsy, JR is hoping to keep this up through the election, but he says the paint, which is environmentally friendly, is very expensive, so he is accepting contributions through a GoFundMe page for people who like the sign and want to see it stay up.
All right, Stephanie, I have to ask you, which Indians' potential mascot change would you like to see?
Certainly not the spiders. I have enough spiders in my apartment that are terrorizing me. Yeah, I would prefer not to have to wear a Spiders jersey. I could go with the Guardians. I'd be happy with that.
Guardians is very cool. Love those statues, certainly. All right, Stephanie, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again coming up in the next half hour. And speaking of that, new at 5:30, the startling loss. How Hollywood is mourning after the death of actress Kelly Preston. John Travolta's touching tribute to his wife coming up. Plus, big money, why the multi-million-dollar sale of Lori Loughlin's mansion is actually a disappointment. And a taste of the Caribbean. Jay and I are literally looking up DoorDash right now. The newest Jamaican flavors coming to downtown Cleveland this week. It's all when What's New returns.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
It most certainly is. Welcome back to What's New. It's 5:30 in Northeast Ohio. Betsy, did you know that today is National French Fry Day?
I do now. We were just talking about it.
I just saw this online. I don't know how this slipped through our net.
I know.
Because normally
we would be celebrating.
And we'd have like 18 different kinds of French fries in here. So they did a national survey on who has the best fries in America. And I know Betsy is in line with this thinking because she once told me her cure for a hangover is McDonald's fries and a Coke.
You weren't supposed to say that.
Well, this was a long time ago. This was many, many years ago.
Way back.
Didn't we talk about that on TV one time? It's already out there. Anyhow, McDonald's has the best fries in America according to this huge survey. 1 in 3 Americans prefer McDonald's fries, and you can count me among them. I love McDonald's French fries.
I am going to get a call from my mother now. Thank you very much for that.
Maybe someone else told me that. It could have been someone else's cure for a hangover. Anyhow, thanks for choosing What's New. Yes. Betsy, it's 5:30. Why don't you tell us something good, please?
Oh, I love this story. This is so excellent. You know the restaurant Edwin's?
Yes.
It's a fancy French place on Shaker Square. Well, that restaurant, in case you don't know, they train former inmates for careers in the culinary arts and hospitality. Anyway, the Institute just bought 2 multifamily homes a little over a block away from the restaurant.
Wow.
And now they're going to offer housing to Edwin's graduates and students. It is just such a great reinforcing part of this entire transitional period for these people. It's part of that next phase for Edwin's. It's a second chance life skills center in the Buckeye neighborhood. The center's campus has a gym, a library, technology, and learning centers, and many tools to get a whole lot of people on a better track to success.
This, Betsy, the model that they used, taking former incarcerated men and women and training them for their new life outside of incarceration, it should be adopted as a national model. The success that they have with these folks is unbelievable, and it truly is an invaluable second chance for so many. And we're lucky to have it here. We really are.
And the food is amazing.
It's pretty good.
Just in case you need to know. Phenomenal. All right. Thanks, Jay. And I'll tell you what, everybody, let's just kind of keep on trucking because we have our top talker coming up next today. And Stephanie Haney is back. It's the news that Kelly Preston, the actress and wife to actor John Travolta, she died after a 2-year battle with breast cancer. She was only 57 years old. And Stephanie, this has a lot of Hollywood reeling today. I was completely taken aback by this.
You are not alone, Betsy. So many people were shocked and saddened by the news of Kelly Preston's passing on Sunday. Her husband and fellow actor John Travolta shared a very heartfelt message telling people the news. He shared a photo of his wife and he wrote, "It is with a heavy heart that I inform you that my beautiful wife Kelly has lost her 2-year battle with breast cancer. I will be taking some time to be there for my children who have lost their mother, so forgive me in advance if you don't hear from us for a while, but please know that I will feel your outpouring of love in the weeks and months ahead as we heal." And there really was a lot of outpouring of love today. Actor Josh Gad shared what so many felt, that he is in absolute shock. He tweeted what a beautiful and amazing actress and person Kelly was, and that he was so sad to hear of her passing as such a young age. As you said, Betsy, she was only 57 years old. Now, one of Kelly's castmates, Daniel Day Kim, shared his memory of working with her on one of his very first films, For the Love of the Game. He said it was cold days on set in Colorado, but Kelly couldn't have been warmer or kinder to a young, nervous actor trying to make good, and he will never forget that. And author Maria Shriver shared her memories of Kelly as a bright, loving soul, a talented actress, and a loving mom and wife. She said her heart breaks for her family, who have already known such sadness and grief. Betsy, of course, she was talking about the loss of their son Jet in 2009 from a seizure in the Bahamas. So our heart goes out to the entire Travolta family right now.
A lot of loss for them to take in. Stephanie, thank you so much. We'll see you in just a little bit for more with the pop break coming up. Well, let's change directions now. We're going to check back in with Russ Mitchell, who's been keeping an eye on the day's other big news stories. Whoops, sorry.
No worries. It's good to see you both. Here is what is happening. Unfortunately, we begin with some breaking news. Actress Naya Rivera's body has been found in a California lake. The 33-year-old former Glee star rented a pontoon boat to take her 4-year-old son swimming last week. Her son was found alone in that boat a few hours later. He told authorities his mom went into the water, but he did not know what happened to her body. Once again, Naya Rivera's body found today in California. Cuyahoga County tip lines received more than 500 complaints about face mask violations. The county says that figure continues to rise since the online and phone reporting options opened on Friday. The tip reporting is aimed at businesses and public places where mandatory mask orders are being violated. And the governor of Tokyo says the Olympic Games must go on next year. However, a recent survey showed most Japanese citizens think the games should be canceled or postponed again as the country deals with another spike in coronavirus cases. The governor counters that holding them in 2021 will show world unity in the face of the pandemic. I don't know when the governor is up for re-election, but that could get rather dicey.
That might be one we could chalk up to. Let's wait and see how this goes.
I think you're right.
Thanks, Russ. We'll see you coming up with what matters most at 6. Jay?
A very special cause near and dear to many of us here at WKYC Studios is right around the corner. It's the VELOSANO Bike to Cure, and one of our team's leading voices is Maureen Kyle. And Maureen joins us live now to talk about it. Maureen, you're the MC of the party this year. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, I'm co-emceeing with Mike Polk Jr., so they brought him to be the comic relief. I'm like the school marm who's going to keep everybody on track. But this kickoff party is what they usually have downtown, big crowds, a lot of food, you know, just a really huge downtown party to kick off the whole weekend. But of course, this year we can't do it. We're doing it virtually. So people can, you know, grab their own drinks at home and join us online and learn about what VELOSANO is all about. And really, it's about raising money for cancer research right at the Cleveland Clinic. 100% of the proceeds, 100% of what you donate goes toward researchers finding a cure for cancer. It doesn't go toward overhead. It doesn't go toward administrative staff. It's all just for cancer research.
Wow. Terrific. Now, if people want to get involved, and hopefully they're watching and they do, how do they go about that, Maureen?
VELOSANO.org, you can still create a team, and this is like you can do anything this year. Usually it's biking and cycling for a weekend, but they are letting everybody, you can run, you can weed the garden, which I clearly need to do, you can kayak, you can do anything, activity outside, and it counts toward your mileage. And you can do it on your own, or if you see somebody that you know who has a team or is involved in it, you know, just click. Every little bit counts. $5, $10, $50, whatever you can give. Like I said, it all goes toward cancer research.
All right, a terrific cause, and if you can, please get involved. It certainly will go to a great benefit. Maureen, I think your garden, by the way, looks marvelous. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the event. I'm sure you will.
I've been stuck at home. Yeah, thanks.
We'll see you soon.
Good to see you.
Now, if you'd like to donate to Team WKYC in this year's VELOSANO race, you can do so by heading over to WKYC.com/what's new. The link is waiting for you there. Next on What's New, the eye-popping rumored asking price as Lori Loughlin and her husband sell their Bel Air mansion ahead of their college admissions scandal sentencing, which is next month.
All right, so Matt, how's the forecast looking for us?
Hi, Jay. Picture perfect weather across Northeast Ohio today. We all know it's going to warm up, though, so we've got your latest numbers for you. And one of the days has a pretty good chance of some showers and thunderstorms. We'll detail when that is coming up.
All right, now it's time for your pop quiz. 90 years ago on this day, the very first soccer World Cup match took place. I remember that. Which country played host? This is a big deal. Was it Mexico, Germany, or Uruguay? Or Uruguay? How do you pronounce it?
I think you got it.
Uruguay. It's like the planet Uranus, right? Well, the answer when What's New returns.
I
All right, the answer to the pop quiz now. Which country hosted soccer's first World Cup on this day in 1930? Was it Mexico, Germany, or Uruguay? It was Uruguay. France beat Mexico 4-1, and the U.S. beat Belgium 3-0 in the first ever World Cup matches. They were played simultaneously, and the World Cup is now one of the world's most watched sporting events.
Well, you know what time it is because you recognize that music. It means it's time to get caught up on the world of entertainment. Your daily dose of pop culture is here. Stephanie Haney delivers your daily pop break.
Full House star Lori Loughlin and her fashion designer husband Massimo Giannulli have just sold their multi-million-dollar Bel Air mansion while they await the next steps in the ongoing college admissions bribery scandal. The 12,000-square-foot home was originally listed in 2017 for $35 million, but was taken off the market the next year to use as collateral for their $2 million bail. We don't know the final sale price yet, but a source told People magazine that it went for a lot less than the $28.6 million ask. Now the couple can turn their attention to their sentencing date coming up quickly on August 21st.
Dreams really do come true. How did you slap me?
I have the iPhone 40.
The cast of 30 Rock is about to be back. We've been waiting for this since NBC announced the one-time special last month, and now we'll see how Liz Lemon and the rest of her crew have been coping with the pandemic.
No mascot yet?
We're in an open-air system.
You scared of the virus now?
I already had corona. I was on my way to donate plasma.
Boom! Another successful interaction with a man.
You can catch up with the characters played by Tina Fey, Alec Baldwin, Tracy Morgan, and more this Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on NBC3. And can you imagine hosting Tom Cruise and Rob Lowe at your house for a night? This actually happened to a few people in Oklahoma. Lowe told Kelly Clarkson about how director Francis Ford Coppola had them spend the night at random strangers' homes to prepare for their roles in the 1983 movie The Outsiders.
In his effort to make us more authentic as greasers, as sort of tough, Tulsa, wrong side of the tracks guys, found a bunch of different actual greasers who are now grown-up adults and made us go spend the night and live with them.
Now that's dedication to your craft. Now, how about this to tie it all together? Rob Lowe is getting into the podcast game, and one of his first guests will be Alec Baldwin, who, as you just heard, he's on 30 Rock, of course. So this podcast is called Literally, and the concept is Rob Lowe gets to talk with the people that he knows and loves the most, and we get to learn about them as well as Rob Lowe knows about him. Now, Betsy, Jay, this is like the dream podcast. You just get to chat with all of your best friends who just happen to be famous, and everybody cares what they're doing. This is going to be so good.
Yeah, I imagine it will be. Well, I think Rob is conservative, and I'm pretty sure Alec is liberal, so the political conversation alone will be riveting. Be very fascinating.
Oh, yes.
All right, Stephanie, thank you so much. See you again tomorrow. All right, now we turn to the weather because this is what a lot of people are very happy about right now.
Yeah, a lot to be happy about.
There's very good consensus and agreement, whether you're liberal, conservative, no matter what. It's been a pretty nice day today.
It is, Betsy and Jay. I'll tell you, you can't complain about this. Whatever it is, you know, whether it be too hot, too cold, this is kind of right in the middle, and it's just refreshing, especially after where we've been last week. But where we were last week, we're going to go back to that as we go throughout this week. So get outside, enjoy tonight, take advantage of it, take advantage of tomorrow as well, because it's going to be a day very similar to today. So let's take a look at the satellite right now. Just a couple fair weather cumulus, mainly down to the south. We've got a lot of sinking motion to the atmosphere, so that doesn't allow those clouds to rise, and that is going to be leading to a very nice evening across northeast Ohio. The big picture, there's some leftover moisture up towards areas of Ontario, New York. That's going to stay over there. It will be lingering nearby, but no impact to us. You can see all the clear skies from here up towards the UP of Michigan. That's the air mass we're tapping into. As high pressure continues to build in, it's bringing that refreshing flow out of the north. Haven't said that much this month as we have really been tapping into that Gulf of Mexico air, and we'll be back at it. It is very hot in areas of the southern plains states. Texas right now and Lubbock sitting at 108, a comfy 100 degrees in Dallas, and that comes with some humidity as well as you get in the eastern part of the state. But for us, we're not dealing with much humidity at all tonight. Your National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast takes us back into the 60s for most of us tonight, maybe even some upper 50s in some of those outlying locations. For your Tuesday, we'll start with sunshine, just just a couple of clouds in the afternoon, not expecting any rain whatsoever. And the important thing tomorrow, in my mind, we'll have a nice breeze out of the north. That's what's doing it for us here today. Wednesday night will be Wednesday morning looks to be a quiet morning as well. Let's talk about rainfall, shall we? So I went back to June 1st. This is the start of meteorological summer. These are all your rainfall statistics since the start of meteorological summer, June 1st. You can see the deficit there at the bottom. Cleveland running about 2 inches behind. Akron a little over 2, and then Mansfield down areas of Richland County, even Ashland County running some 3 to 3.5 inches. So let's look ahead at the week in terms of rainfall. You can see the dry air we have over the next couple days, but off towards the west, we'll have a frontal boundary that'll bring showers and thunderstorms into the area. It looks like Thursday at this point, models grasping onto perhaps a larger cluster of storms somewhere in the Great Lakes Thursday. So that's our real next good chance of rainfall. And then that boundary kind of lingers around here for the weekend. I think we'll have periods of showers and storms over the weekend, but I think most hours will be dry. In terms of rainfall, the bulk of it up in the upper Midwest, but for us, at least we have some chances as we get on into your Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast reflects that. Look at the heat. That's the other story. Nice tomorrow, but then 92 on Wednesday. The storms ought to keep our temperatures slightly cooler on Thursday, but we're back to the 90s for the weekend. So if we could string a couple days together, it looks like, yeah, another July heat wave slated for Friday, Saturday, Sunday into Monday. Betsy and Jay.
All right, Matt, thank you very much. I'll take it. It's great weather. New on the food scene, the latest addition to a thriving choice of Caribbean options right here in Northeast Ohio.
And later, feel the crunch. Meet the pickles of baseball. I really oversold it on that one, didn't I? Well, actually, that's the name, right? They're going to bring you smiles with every crack of the bat.
Time for change. An NFL team drops its nickname and the local district considering doing the same. Helping others, phase 1 of the Cleveland COVID Relief Fund is winding down. How you can help determine where we go from here. Diversity in dining, putting a little spice into your life. Find out about Cleveland's newest dining spot, Rockin' Caribbean Fare. And Woman Boss, a behind-the-scenes look at Charlize Theron's new Netflix movie. Welcome back to What's New. Did you know there is actually a wide selection of Caribbean-inspired restaurants right here in Cleveland? Tonight, 3 News food expert Doug Tratner introduces us to the newest spot. It's opening soon in downtown Cleveland as part of his Diversity in Dining series.
Hey, Jeremiah, how are you? I'm still breathing, still got all my teeth. So life is good. I cannot complain.
How do you describe you jerk to folks when you do describe it?
I would say it is Caribbean eatery focused on Jamaican spices fused with a little bit of American style dining. So we have like salads, wraps, sliders, as well as sandwiches. And what we've done is we've created a great menu where we've infused that jerk chicken and we put a lot of spices on it. That's what sets ourselves apart from everybody else, are the spices. These spices are original, made from scratch. You're not gonna find it anywhere. It's different. It's not your typical Jamaican restaurant. So when people say, hey, do you guys have oxtail? Do you guys have plantains? No. But we definitely do have a great menu.
I know there are 1,000,001 recipes for jerk chicken and anything with the jerk seasoning behind it. Where did you guys come up with the recipe for this?
The chef, the individual that put the recipe and the menu together, he's actually Jamaican. So he pretty much took everything from growing up when he was in the kitchen and pretty much put it on a menu.
I walk through the doors of You Jerk downtown. What am I going to see and how do I approach the menu?
So it's going to be like a taste of Jamaica. When you come in here, you're going to think you're on a beach. I'm going to be honest with you. To the left, you're going to see our menu board. Our menu board is pretty simple. It's really easy to read. It starts with your protein, what you want to put, jerk chicken, chicken cutlet. We got like jerk falafel, shrimp, and crab. And then you're going to have your base, salad, wrap. You're going to have your sandwich, and you're also going to have your sliders. And then you're going to have an option of a plate. Now, our plate or platter, if you will, is going to consist of jerk chicken and 2 sides. And you pretty much can choose from there. We have an option of a Rasta pasta that we only serve on the weekend. So it's a pretty extensive menu.
So I love spicy food. Tell me a little bit about those sauces. Is one of them going to be nice and hot?
Yeah, one of the sauces is kind of like your traditional jerk chicken sauce, really spicy. I tell everybody it's not for the faint of heart. You might sweat a little bit when you bite into it, to be honest with you. I had some regular chicken yesterday and I dipped it into the spices. It was amazing. So it literally transforms the plate, and that's kind of what separates us from every other Caribbean restaurant.
That sounds like a merchandising opportunity to me. Are you guys going to be selling those?
Definitely, 110%. Yeah, absolutely.
I know you guys are having a little fun with the name, You Jerk, and I've seen some comments on social media. It's not too out there, but it is fun, isn't it? A little bit.
Definitely, and you can play on it a lot. Are you a jerk? Come be a jerk with us. We're looking for the #1 jerk. It's a lot of ways that we can play with the word, but we knew that it stood out, especially when you walk past an orange awning in downtown Cleveland and it says You Jerk Caribbean Eatery. It piques a lot of interest.
You either know immediately what it is or you're curious.
Exactly.
I'm hungry. That's what I am. You'll be able to find You Jerk at the corner of Euclid and East 9th downtown when they open this Friday. Also, check out WKYC.com/Doug Trattner, Trattner, for additional details. Well, meet the Portland Pickles. That seriously is their name. How this unlikely baseball team is bringing smiles to faces during the pandemic. It is your Worth the Watch, and it is next. We wrap up what's new every day with our Worth the Watch, and it is time to play ball. Baseball is back in Oregon, and Betsy, despite the pandemic, one small league is in action. They're called the Wild West League. And why not, with names like team names that I'm going to rip off here in a second. You've got the Portland Pickles. They played their first game this weekend against the Portland Jerkins. I'm detecting a theme here. Safety for fans was the top priority, and fans had a blast.
This is crazy and insane and awesome. I am so happy to be out here. I've missed this.
We sold less than 100 tickets. Everyone is very far spaced apart. Everyone's wearing masks. We're all out here for the common goal, which is to see live baseball.
Now would be as good a time as any to say that the Cleveland Indians
11 days.
playing baseball again very soon.
11 days.
We are very excited.
And we will have the game right here on 3.
Yeah, we're pretty pumped about that. We're out of time for today, but you know the drill. We're back tomorrow, and we invite you to join us then. Thanks so much for watching What's New.
That's right. And what matters most with Russ?